Hand me one of those, please.
Yes, sir.
It's a refreshing.
Yes,
first
sir.
Sip.
I hope they're nice and cold.
They're very cold. It's a good sip.
Good. Well, another day in the studio, hanging out with close friends. The way I like to do it. Captain and Maybelle.
Hello.
And a frothy beer.
It's tasty.
So, how are y'all doing?
We're doing well. I mean, things considered. We're trying to keep ourselves busy and our brains busy, and kids are doing good. And for 48 hours, it's been a little chaotic. Huh, Maybelle?
We're good.
We
New puppy.
got a new puppy in the house. It's a new little Basset puppy.
Go to their Facebook and see if you pull that up, Matt.
You know, somebody got not baby fever. Somebody got puppy fever.
Yeah, it's
And
funny.
it wasn't me either.
Most people, our fans and friends, know about Haas because Maybelle is quick to put our other Basset up there. And we got Haas, and it has taken 10 years before I finally agreed. And I went to Maybelle and I said, "I'm about to tell you something tonight, and you need to tell me no. You need to be strong." And she said, "What?" And I said, "I got puppy fever. I want a puppy, man." And so I'd been looking at Bassets online, and so there he is. That's Mr. Britches.
Is this from the same bloodline?
No, it's from a different kennel, Big Country Basset Hounds in Glencoe, Alabama. And it was a really cool visit with them to see where he's from. And there were so many goats, too.
Yeah,
It was a really wonderful day.
Bubba Britches.
But Bridges, so yeah, he decided to get this puppy after he's already working full time at the shop again and doing this Give a Hoot monthly project we do and doing a build out in the garage. And then he says he wants a puppy too. So there's a lot happening over there in the steel house.
I got a puppy, like I said, a year ago.
Yeah.
A little over a year. She's September 24th was her birthday. Driving me fucking crazy. Dude. It's been years since I've had a puppy because I have my dog's older too. She's 13 years old.
Yeah.
She wasn't too happy about it at first. Was Hoss thinking about Britches here? What's he think?
So far, so good.
yeah.
Definitely, showing who's the dominant, who runs.
Does Hoss use his tail like a fucking tomahawk?
No, I think his body and just pushing with his hip almost.
My Basset Hound back in the day used to, my parents spoiled her and would give her treats for everything. So then she learned where the treats were at in the cabinet. So she would walk over to the cabinet and get that ass in going and start slapping the cabinet door with her tail. And then the door would start flapping. And everything was just, so the door flapping, her hitting the door, and the Basset Hound bark. Oh, she would fucking get it rolling back in the
They're
day.
smart.
They really are smart. So much personality.
Oh man, and you know what? What was a really big deciding factor is we're not on the road so much right now. So we can get him in the routine, get him trained,
Love him up.
and all that.
time to
But
dedicate,
yeah, things are boring. I mean, you don't get to hang out with your friends as much, and pets, they bring a lot of love to the house. They're a pain in the ass. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But they bring a lot of love.
But yeah, so yeah, some projects, some stuff's happening.
To new puppies, and like we were talking before we got the show started, we can't work in the traditional sense, so you've been building out a studio.
Right.
So you want to talk about that some?
Well, it started, we were hanging out with a bunch of friends from the Southern Sideshow Hootenanny online. And
Every Friday
normally we
about.
do every month or so every year we do an event together, but we do fundraising up to before the event to help raise money for it. And we were online, and I said, man, we should just kind of do a fundraiser online and maybe start putting out a show or whatever. And then I guess I was drinking and stupid, but I mean, it was a great idea. And so we all got together with a bunch of very talented, like-minded people and started a monthly show called Give a Hoot, where we host it, and we do some performing. But yeah, maybe I got tired of every time we would film, I was trashing the
whole
place,
house would
moving
just get-
couches and and
It's like a
take
full-blown
this.
production.
Yeah,
You got to. That's
Sure.
it's. You realize what it takes to
so-
film stuff and make it good, and you keep on level up. So
Yep.
That's true.
So we started. She was getting sick of it, and I said, "Oh, okay, then I'm gonna build a studio." So I started converting our garage to a studio and building out. And actually, when we're done here, we're going to go home and hang can lights and do some painting and, do some stuff. But it's been fun, we got to create.
Is the studio going to be just for performing, or you got other plans with it? Or do you
I think
try to?
we're going to do video, and we want to do audio, and then we want to do photography in it. So I want it to be, for three things, and really to help market and push us. And, it's just teaching us a skill rather than sitting around and becoming stagnant, it's trying to keep yourself out there.
That's damn sure. Nothing wrong with that. That's for sure.
No, and, it feels really good because me and Maybelle, we have so much fun on stage, and we didn't realize, but then we'd be on doing something together, and it's just like, whoa, it felt right. It felt like we were on stage. It ain't got the crowd out there, but we're creating and we're coming up with stuff, and you're hungry for it. And so it's been a lot of fun, hasn't it?
It has been, definitely. We've rewritten, wrote, some new material. There's some fun things I incorporate magic wise into stuff. So there's a lot more comedy. And we just want to get it out there.
I will say this now: me and Renee and Lucas, and it was Renee's idea. I can't take the credit for it as much as I would love to, and he knows I would love to. He at one time had an idea to produce a comedy magic show when we had Jarko and stuff back in the day, and Jarko was going to be the magician, but everything was going to go horrifically wrong.
Right.
But halfway work, enough to where you're entertained and see magic happening, but definitely sawing the woman in half. Oh, there's going to be guts everywhere.
That'd be fabulous.
So please throw some of that in there if you can. Some horrible, some comedy, some magic fails.
I like it.
That's it. I mean, it's still it's nice that way sometimes.
You've seen our show. About 80% is what kind of a failure.
It goes this way and it comes back.
This is called trying to make a living off an extreme personality disorder. So it's pretty much there.
That's exactly it. That's been my goal forever. Now, anytime somebody asks me something to do something stupid, I'm always like, do you know how hard I've worked to not have to really work and do what the fuck you're talking about right now? No, I've put a lot of time in eating shit to not have to do that kind of stuff.
My energy is better used elsewhere.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've been killing it, man.
Trying to, creating as much as we can. Matt by my side, we just knock out as much as we can, and we're going through like a detox of not being able to create shows and just do the things we weren't doing great at that to begin with. We just, we were learning that too. It's just people like us have a drive to just do. Wouldn't it be cool too? And then that sentence goes, from there. And whatever like this, that's the people that can't do that right now. That's, I think, the people that are getting the pandemic's kicking the shit out of a lot. And then it's also separating the doers, the movers and the shakers from the actual bullshitters, because now we have to do something or not,
True.
It's either sink or swim. Learn a new skill, build a studio in your house and start learning how to edit and do shit. Go build a studio at Ember City and start a podcast or sink.
It's hard to get depressed when you're busy and you're creating, if you're sitting around and doing nothing and just flipping through your social media all day long, hating life, well, you're going to have a life worth hating.
That sounds horrible too, because I mean, it's easy to sit on social media now and flip through stuff and see all the fakers and people that are talking about how awesome everything's going and how everything they're doing, they're just shit and gold. But we're over here working, and I know that that's just a facade, because
and it may look bad now, but you just wait.
You know how much shit you got to go through to get those good shots.
Oh my
those
gosh.
Instagram worthy pictures and stories. How many failures you go through.
Yeah, and we're hoping to continue working on this, and I guess we'll say it here, but that's getting us started into production of a DVD we've been working on and laying out that we're going to, and we're not real sure, we've got where we're going and what we're going to do and the layout, and a lot of it's being built for that, and we're pretty excited, and we're going to start putting that out there.
Is it going to be predominantly new footage, or is it going to be made up of old shit? Or
mostly new. Mostly new stuff.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, mostly new. And, we're just playing around. We've bought all this. So it's like, hey, while we're doing it, why don't we just go ahead and do this? We've talked about it forever.
Right.
Now
It's
we have
always
the time to dedicate to it. Yeah.
It's just slow. Before it was, let's do as many gigs as we can do in this amount of time. And so, you were getting really good at being on stage and sleeping in rest areas and, eating terrible food and all those things.
Well, I guess too, all the things you've done have afforded you to be in front of the camera enough and be a part of different productions and doing things. You've been learning production, learning the swing of how behind the scenes, how things are put together. I guess it only makes sense that you would eventually, just like myself and everybody, say like, I'm pretty sure I can take a bite out of that.
Yeah, the first episode, that we did of the Give a Hoot, it was, we just put it out there, and it was like, oh man, it's not perfect, and you start, and it's like, no, just put it out, do content.
And that's a collaboration where you and other Sideshow acts they film stuff remotely, you film remotely and send it in, and everybody puts it together.
And it's really edited together, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are putting it together as well, and then we just reach out to performers, or they reach out to us and say, we want to be a part.
Yeah, there's an application they can fill out online, and it goes to them, and there's a board, and they have a really good incorporation of classic or old school performances from the actual event that they combine with new and up and coming performers, like young ones, and then more seasoned performers. And each episode is really cool. Like Chris said, so we started out in the living room with one GoPro, and it's cool to watch through. Next month will be 5, the evolution of the quality and how things have come together too.
Right.
Editing everything that multiple people put together, and it's a really fun.
Maybe she makes fun of me
rewarding
because
project.
I run to Goodwill all the time buying curtains.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Curtains for backdrops, but. Man, I'm giving my secret out. All right, I'm not going to tell them which ones I go to.
You don't tell them what Goodwill you're hitting.
You just go to the town where there's more wealth, and they change their curtains more often. They're really thick and really expensive, and they're $10 a set out there. So I'm like looking for backdrops just constantly.
Keep
but
thickening it up.
That's it.
That's awesome. So how many artists and acts are taking part in that now, and how wide across the country or world? Or you got anybody international participating in this?
We have, and
that's awesome.
We're doing about 10 acts per month that come together, and then of course you see some regular things that we have.
Yeah, like my favorite from each episode is Captain
Steve's Sweet Move of the Month.
That's right. He walks you through some important dances. So,
yeah.
Yes, if you've not.
And break it down for you. And so it's a monthly feature. But we have features, James Freeman and Few Good Oddities. He does something on a Sideshow performer from the past, Daisy and Violet or
Houdini.
And where can you see this show at? Where can people find this at if they want to watch past episodes or catch new ones coming up?
It's the Cabin Fever live stream on Twitch is who hosts it. And
always the fourth Saturday of the month.
Give a Hoot, or you just
are all the past episodes there. Then you can still watch those.
Yeah, as soon as they go off there, then we put them on Venmo. Isn't it? No, Vimeo.
I do that too. I get those confused. I don't get them confused, but saying them cluster fucks up every time it comes out of my mouth.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a really fun project, though, for sure.
Yeah, we're having fun with it. And so we're going to keep working at it. And we're already doing construction and then cleaning up and filming and doing construction and cleaning up and filming.
So I know with nobody being able to perform, and I know that certain bars that you guys and venues that you guys have performed at are coming back and doing things like the world famous Claremont. I know that they're already open back up and doing business. Are they not doing?
They're not doing shows.
They're not doing any kind of shows.
You just draw too big in that area. If we do stuff, we were doing a show.
But drawing too big, I mean, you can still say no. First come, first serve. This is how many people we're serving for this. This is the show, and I mean, have y'all not considered that in a safe environment done proper?
We were doing Laughing Skull was doing one at Center Stage.
And they Yeah, we did shows with Bob Place in October and November.
I remember seeing those when they were on sale and stuff.
Man, they were doing it the right way with
but they were spread out, but it's
yeah.
really, really, really hard,
Just implementing everything.
For
they
sure.
did taking temperatures on the way in, mandatory masks, such like that. And they were doing this in the big auditorium room.
Right, so you were spread out. There was more than 6 feet between everybody.
At the tables.
Was it half capacity, or how many people were? Because I know that auditorium that probably holds.
Maxed out at 300.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
that was all they were going to let in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
but they were definitely.
So there's 300 people in that room, or
oh my God, that was the cool thing.
Plenty of space.
Yeah.
People were very spread out, and part of a live show is energy when people come together.
Is that weird performing to that vibe?
Yeah. It was a little, but it was rewarding for sure.
And you're on stage at the center stage, and it looks beautiful and it's awesome, and you're getting great footage in it, and so it was a lot of fun. But it's not the same, regardless, live entertainment's not the same because people are still scared and nervous and unsure and stuff like that, including yourself, instead of going in and hugging your people beforehand and getting that energy from all your friends and everything, the crowd before on stage, or keeping distance and things are awkward. Okay, now let's get out here and entertain these people that are
go through the motions without. A lot of stuff. What you guys do, especially, is very happy and crowd driven. And if you've already y'all warm yourself up with the crowd that you're going to see, and then you wind yourself down with the crowd you've just performed in front of, and I guess that would change the dynamic dramatically for you guys.
But it's it's still entertaining, and I think a lot of people out there, they need entertainment as much as they need food in their face to survive, and human interaction. So,
that's very true.
Do you think that the time off is giving you any benefits, being that you didn't take that much time off after your injury? Do you think that this has helped any, or do you think you are already past that?
I think I was past it. I do. If anything, I'm not putting swords in my body, and a lot of times, it's body conditioning. So if you don't work out, you're not lifting as much weight and stuff. But I am doing stuff, and especially doing the monthly show and things like that. So, but yeah, I think I was pretty much through it. If anything, it's giving me time with my kid.
With that being said, and I guess it's a weird notion, most people don't think about this, but as professional sideshow acts, some of the routines y'all do are extremely dangerous, and normally you are performing enough that you're a seasoned act and that's what you're doing. But now, or if you were in a downtime that wasn't, would you swallow and do things at home and just for conditioning reasons so you don't get that alone?
Yeah, we do. We do. I mean, there's some things that I don't. We're not doing the lifting or the eye socket weightlifting or anything. Swords are the number one thing for sure. But and then our routine, the microphone. If you're not on that thing all the time,
the gift of gab can go away.
That's it. And just our show. There's so much that you'll forget things, to even say.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you're like, we didn't even say that. And it's like, I say that part where I say, what do I say? And she's like, that's all you say. No, there's something in there. No, there's not. Putting something in
that's the weird thing about doing live performance stuff like that in shows. It's kind of like driving down the interstate sometimes, and you're like, I don't remember how I got here.
Right.
It's the same thing if you've done a show and certain things so much, you're like, did we do that bit?
Right.
Did that actually happen or not? I don't know if it did or didn't. And what's weird enough is whenever you think, I didn't do that.
Right.
And then you review the footage or whatever, and you totally did, and you're like, oh, shit, man. That's even more Twilight Zone.
You've just done it so many times that it's just natural. You don't even think about certain things.
I remember, too, with the band at times, though, that would always tell me it's time to refresh the set and move on to something new. Do y'all have that, ever feel that way? That it's like, we've drove this into the ground. It's time to freshen up.
Things get created when we're on stage and it pops. And when it pops, and the crowd likes it, and you're like, oh, remember that, and then it can incorporate itself into it. And it's funny that it's fun in the beginning and passionate the way you deliver it, but then you keep trying to deliver it, and over time you realize it's not popping with the crowd anymore. It's the same thing. it's just, it got just stagnant to you.
Yep.
You didn't deliver it. You didn't.
Do y'all
have
ever
the
get
passion.
bored on stage and just kind of riff and just kind of look at each other and just go jump the tracks and just start?
Show.
Let's just see where this goes.
Every
Sometimes
show.
I do. I get a little full of myself sometimes. No, often. And I just kind of start throwing him like curveballs, and that's like when the energy is really good, and he just flows with it, and something.
Yeah, I love watching y'all show, especially on the things where you will get very long-winded and be very serious, talking about how serious this is, and you're off to the side just like, like a stewardess running through what the pilot's saying. You're motioning out, but it's almost like a cartoon character.
Save yourself first. Put your mask
Yeah,
on
that's
before
what
the
it
other.
reminds me of.
Yeah, and actually, Maybelle, she's taking on a lot more of the speaking. You know, I guess it really started when she found out that, you know, Maybelle can say more with body language and facial expressions than I can even say. You know,
Yeah,
on
I
a
think
microphone.
Carol Burnett would be very proud.
Absolutely, I agree.
I like her. She's
And
idle.
she
I
can say
do.
so much. Well, then she heard that was called a dumb act, is when you don't talk.
Yeah.
And that
Well,
bothered
yeah,
her
but
just
that doesn't
enough.
mean that. It's like
Right,
like
right,
a heel
right.
in wrestling and stuff, you
And
know.
I would feel honestly like a lot like I'm saying it in my head. It just wasn't coming out of my mouth. And so once he's like, just let's try it. And I've never looked back, to
And
be
she
honest.
has, but yeah, she is really taking on a whole lot more of the speaking of the show now,
babe, yeah.
delivery of stuff, and speaking of when I get rambling on, wait till you see on stage. We have something new for that, where she shuts it down. That,
Oh, good! I can't
yeah.
wait. Well, that's what's been. It's been fun to watch you start doing more and more as the years have gone on.
Yeah.
And I still, every time I watch you eat that fucking balloon and swallow the balloon down, and it's gone. There she goes.
Yep.
And every time somebody in the crowd will be next to me, like, what's it gonna happen? I was like, oh yeah, she got to poop that out.
that's it.
That's it.
Say it again.
They're like, what? Really? And I was like, yep.
Yep.
Don't you say when it pops? How long does it take for that to pop?
I never know. Sometimes it's a minute. Sometimes I'll get off stage or walk away, and then all of a sudden, and it's like about, like, I think I could hold a world record if I knew when it was going to happen, so I could record it, because it's long.
Does it
Yeah.
is it a pop, like a boop, or
No,
do you,
it's just like a little, like a long
Like a
length.
burp.
It's just like a burp. It comes out
so
that
do you
way.
tie that balloon off differently than you normally would?
No.
So
It's
what's
just-
making
yeah.
it do? Is just the acid
Your
in your
acid in
body,
your stomach, and so
eating
it's
it?
also different
If
if I'm
she tells you
drinking
she had to
beer.
kill you, you've gone too far.
It's just so interesting to
And
me.
it depends on if I'm drinking beer or if I'm drinking liquor too. So that's there's some factors that
Oh, that
play
Jack
into
Daniels just melts it immediately.
it. So if you see me drinking whiskey, you know what's about to happen.
Do 2 of them that
For
night.
sure, right? Well, there'd be convention weekends where I limited myself to 2 a day. So like by Monday, I'd have 6 balloons in there. And so here's the thing. I don't know if you know Rodney Hall. He's been around for a while, right? And
6 balloons. What are you, a fucking Coke mule?
no. I never even thought about that. That's probably why he approached me, because he says, so listen, I Googled it and I know like it's a magic trick, and I went, but it's not. And he said, so I want you to take a picture of your shit the next time, and I want you to show me. I'm like, you're fucking gross.
Dude.
That is nasty, Rodney. But I honestly never
All right,
thought of
then.
that. I thought it was like gum, you know. Do you pass it? You don't know. You don't look for it.
What's the magic
So-
trick though? That's what I want to, because that's
I
the
don't
thing
know.
with magic tricks, and I'm sure you've heard it a billion times. Everybody's theories. Oh, it's a telescoping sword. Oh,
And there
what-
are
roll-up.
some.
yeah, but
Yeah,
And
there
there
are.
are people that do it as
Do it
a
well.
magic
that
trick.
way, yeah. But I knew, like, when I learned it,
fucking
Chris
posers.
taught me how to swallow swords, and I got one sword down one time, and it freaked me the fuck out. Like, you can feel it all the way in your belly, and I pulled it back out and I gave it to him, and I said, yeah, I want no part of that ever. And he said, but now you know you can do it and hold your breath. So what can you do? And so I acquired, some skills, and I never thought about it. And finally, when I started looking, I'm like, wow, holy shit. Like, literally, this is a thing. And when they featured us in Ripley's, like our good spread a couple years ago, they don't put anything in Ripley's that is not true.
Right.
So we're there, doing the photo shoot and the videos and everything. And Sabrina, she says, we're talking to her about this very thing. And I said, well, I actually have photos on my phone. And Chris, he's like, please don't show her those pictures, Maybelle. Please don't. Like, I offer to show people to like make it real, and he's just like, I cannot. Why do you do this? Like, you're proud of it. And I'm like, well, I am, yeah. So she checked out the photos and said these are definitely legitimate. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and put it in there. And it's crazy. I'll tell you one time, Sid, this is true. I had one balloon, and they're like the balloon animal balloons, like the kind of longer ones. One came out one time, and it had tied itself in a knot 3 times. It's
like a cherry. It's fucking cherry stuff. A cherry steel.
Yeah,
man.
That was 3 times. It was incredible. So yeah,
You're so weird.
That is the.
So if I can figure out how to make my body purposely do that, that could be a real skill. But I just have to go with the flow. So yeah, there's that segment of.
Did you ever do that same stunt?
Oh no.
No. Weren't hungry enough to eat any balloons.
Already easy enough to clown me doing swords.
What seems to be the biggest crowd pleaser, you think, out of y'all's set?
I think swords for sure.
Yeah, swords, human scale.
Yeah.
And ice hockey weightlifting. People
for sure they gag.
People
at that
say
one.
that's the one that affects them. We'll hear that one more than anything.
I always remember, and I think I've told you this before, but the first time I read, it wasn't long after I had met you guys. I had never seen you perform, y'all, or you at least, I believe, pierced all the cats that were working at our haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
You pierced them and sent them down to do hanging,
body suspension.
Yeah, body suspension, and they become actors in our haunted house. And that was whenever I heard the tale of Captain Stab Tuggo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then move on down the line, and I see a review online from Mick Minchow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rest in peace. From
Jim.
Jim. Yeah, Mitch. That's his brother.
Mick. Yep.
Mick. Dickhead. The brother was cool.
Yeah, they were both good dudes, but
no, the other dude's a dickhead. But his review was so awesome. Because I'm trying to remember off my head how it went, but it was essentially it was a bare stage.
Mm-hmm.
The lights dimmed down. A man comes in on hand trucks, yes, like similar to Hannibal Lecter, and straight jacket on, and another guy pushing him comes in, immediately reaches down, hooks your feet up to a wire, and snatches you, snapping your feet to the air, slamming your face to the ground, and then hoist you up into the ground. Sitting there, and then the guy proceeds to take a baseball bat and start beating the shit out of you as you struggled to get out of the straitjacket. Once you get out of the straitjacket and take the baseball bat ass whipping the whole time, you fall on your head again because you unlatch your feet, fall to your head. Your mouth is sewn together with string. You reach into your pocket, pull out a pocket knife. Or no, maybe it wasn't that. I think he said you just open them. Did you just...
It was my eyes.
It was your eyes. And just opened them up and said, I am Captain Stab Tuggo. Welcome to the show. And that's the end of the review, too. They didn't even talk about that. And I was just, that was the fucking intro? How close to that is the truth? Is that really how it went?
Yeah, we used to do a lot of, even at the Masquerade, we'd have our Hellraiser suspension shows and all Hellraiser themed. And, and we did it for a long time. And it was, it was part of defining who I was and pushing my limits and testing my limits.
Well, I understand.
And being on stage. And then it kind of evolved, but...
Not to go back to it, like say, there's tricks to it all, but when
no
a motherfucker sews their eyelids shut, how do you decide what string you are going to use? Because obviously you don't want no 20-pound test.
Yeah, no, we're using basically... like when you sew somebody's skin
it's like a suture, with that.
Sutures.
It's kind of thick to me. I don't know that... I would have gone with... Yeah, with that.
But how could... If it's a suture, how could you have the... you fucking nut.
And it just...
I'm badass, dude. Have you not heard?
I've heard, but man, I understand why you can't bring that back.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing it now either, honestly.
But my God, I would have loved to have seen that. That would have been one I'd be like,
I do have photos, actually. I do have photos at home. I'll have to DM some to you so you can see. But it's actually right after he had opened, I think while he is opening his eyes and they're busting. Mm-hmm. I think I have 2 photos of that. So.
Yeah, Ripley's Eat Your Heart Out on this. We're having camera problems like crazy here, but thank God we have all the multiple cams. That way the show keeps running.
Yeah.
That's right.
Matt's over here juggling them. He's making it happen.
That's what he does.
That's good.
Matt does make stuff happen.
He does for me. That's for damn sure.
Matt's a good guy. He's a good friend.
If you're into that.
So, what did y'all think about doing the late night extravaganza? When I had y'all, I heard y'all were probably what I heard back, and people enjoyed the most.
Wow.
Y'all's segment.
Wow.
And myself as well. Just the shots that lined up, the way everything, the stage looked when it all came together for y'all's bit. It
We just went out. It was one shot, one kill almost, huh? With both,
dude,
all of it.
Every time I work with y'all, I know what I'm getting. I know it's going to be one shot, one kill.
Well, and
I know you're not going to disappoint, and I don't have to worry about you.
I mean, and down to everybody
Thank
putting it
you.
together, and Video Raheem, and I mean, we had all the right people, and it just flowed together, and we all worked together so much
Yeah.
that we just know how to just jump in, and be comfortable,
sure.
and make it happen, and you kind of know direction we're gonna go with it, and
Yeah.
so
it was a fun production.
it just
for
worked,
sure.
and man, the whole thing was
So,
amazing.
Yeah, you knocked it out of the park.
Everybody. It was
Sid.
so
It was
good.
a really incredible production.
We had fun doing it. It was a lot of work. I joked with the guy because that was right before my surgery on my foot, and my leg was dead. And I joked with Video Raheem and Brian and a couple of the other guys that helped produce it. And I was like, "Bet you've never seen somebody that hosted something, was an executive producer, wear a 3-piece suit, dress shoes, do set deck, catering, artist relations, PA work, and host the motherfucking show all at the same time."
did.
And that's it.
That's what it takes when you broke ass and just trying to make it happen.
When you knew what we were doing,
Yeah.
we were on the other stage.
That's why I was such out with the other
That's
stage.
right. We were in there
filming
filming and doing stuff for ourselves in
Yeah.
there. Like, it was
Yeah.
crazy, but that's
It
what.
was a fun day, though. And thanks for including us again. It was.
It was tremendous, and actually, people have spoken, sponsors spoken. I think we're going to be doing more episodes of that.
Nice.
Some version at least. All the sponsors liked what they seen, and me and Brent
Fabulous.
and at West End Motel, and everybody had such a good time with it. We're
Man,
going to do
so much
more,
fun.
so hopefully we figure out a way to continue collaborating with our friends on it.
we're
Absolutely.
definitely going to do something.
to
I mean, whether it's that or not, something's going to happen.
have some fun.
Stay
get
tuned.
An excuse to drink some beer and nothing else, right?
It's
Mhm.
the truth.
Hang out and motivate each other, or laugh at each other's failures.
Do both sometimes.
So, how many? Going back to the Guinness stuff, how many records do you have?
Well, the thing
currently?
is we
'Cause I
have
know some of
records
them
through
break
different
and
companies. So,
Okay.
like, currently, right now, I think I have just Record Holders Republic, which is another. There's so many different organizations. Guinness is the hardest to get into. It's one of the more expensive to get into if you want and stuff. So there's different ones and different events, and a lot of us all break a record by.
And you say Guinness is more expensive. I guess that a lot of people don't know that to get a Guinness record to even apply. And if you are legit,
you got to pay to apply,
have to have
or you
a
can do it for
adjudicator.
free, but it can take 6 months before you hear back. And then you got to pay for an adjudicator, and you've got to make
That's what I'm
sure.
saying. Even
and
if
there
you
are
do get in,
several-
you pay them to come out.
and
to
just because you
facilitate.
break it doesn't mean that it gets accepted. So having an adjudicator there assures that everything was done right and that somebody witnessed it and everything, and and so then you can film. You just can't say, okay, here I am, I'm going to break this world record and film it and send it to them and say, here it is, see, I did it.
Right, 'cause they want
It doesn't really work that way. And so, and the whole point, honestly, is when we're doing records and stuff, sometimes we submit them, sometimes we don't. But so what it really comes down to is we put a world record breaking event together, and a lot of times for charity, a lot of times for big events, some
Get a
like
sponsor.
Slaughter Q, and
that was amazing.
we've done with Days of the Dead, and we've even flown out to a brewery place out in Long Beach, California. And
That's
did
where
one there
he
for an event.
accomplished the weighted sword swallowing record, though. And that is, you can speak to the weight of that.
Yeah, that was
Weight.
84.2 pounds on the human scale. And what good is a world record if it's not a huge marketing event put around it? That's the whole point of doing it, is
Yep.
marketing.
And that's what I was say. What are there? So you go through all the motions and you pay to get the adjudicator out there and all that good shit. You break the record. They say you've broken the record. Do they pay you anything to be in their books or anything like that? Being that they're selling the books and you're filling the content for them? Nope. You just get the bragging rights and now.
And a certificate.
Absolutely.
But you're a smart man. You know how to take those bragging rights.
Yeah,
if
you
make marketing.
we just made it into our 8th Ripley's Believe It or Not publication.
Really, I did not know it had been that many.
8 now that we have been in, and
so many children.
I don't
So
know.
many.
Look, because that's the thing. I mean, when you're in 3rd grade,
Yep.
the book fair comes. A couple of the kids get that, and then there's that cool teacher that always has them. And you're going through there, and you're looking at the lady with the fingernails.
Yeah.
You're looking at the bearded guys, and then the sideshow acts. And so many kids, 8 issues, or you are going to be. You are those kids' freaks.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time I seen. I guess he goes by Lizard Man.
Yeah.
He was the guy who was out with Jägermeister for a long time.
Yeah.
The first time I seen him in person, because he was one of those for me. I was just like, it took me back to being that little kid again.
Absolutely.
And actually, I creeped up on him at a Slayer show. We were walking through the parking lot and seeing a tour bus. They had all their curtains closed, and we're like, I wonder whose tour bus that is. And we looked just enough through the front windshield and seen a crack, and I could see it. I was like, it's not a band. But I knew that he would host the show, and he had his hoodie off, and I could see his horns a little bit and the gleam of his tattoos, and I was like, it's fucking Lizard Man, Kurt. And he come off, but he immediately threw his hoodie on, and we bum rushed him.
Yes.
And we're like, hey man, can we get a fucking picture with you? And so he jumps around us, throws his hands on us like this, and we're taking the picture, and we don't see it, but he threw his hoodie off right as he did, and fucking threw his split tongue out and everything, and it turned out to be just such a great picture. But I remember just being like, just that notion's really special to.
Absolutely.
My 2 friends are those people for.
Yeah.
I mean, millions of kids. It's got to be
guess
because
so,
that book just that's a staple for elementary school students to just look at it and just, oh my God,
Yeah,
look
and they
at this
send
stuff.
out, Ripley's will send out an annual to all elementary schools, middle schools, I think, in the country, something like that. It's something crazy, or in their location of where their auditorium. I'm not really sure how it goes, but they send them out to schools to keep in there. And
Yeah, that
they
makes
say-
they were also a staple at my schools.
Yeah.
That and fucking Where's Waldo?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if that's still a thing. Kids.
I don't know. I still
We
like
saw
a
the
good
Where's
Where's
Bernie?
Waldo.
I've seen that one.
Where's Bernie? That was out.
Did you find him?
That if I found him.
I didn't find him. I found Waldo in that because somebody just took a Where's Waldo
Waldo.
and put him in
He
it.
is in there.
And I found Waldo right off the bat, and I swear to God, I looked at it. I was high as shit for probably 30 minutes and did not find Bernie. I was like, these assholes got
you,
me.
Bernie.
you know you can click and zoom on those phones now.
I did that too. I did that. That's what makes it worse. It's kind of like Renee. A lot of people don't know this, and here's a fun fact for people that don't know it. All of the Slaughter Q posters for each year have hidden hatchet men, juggalo hatchet men, throughout the artwork. Did y'all know that? Renee, from Masquerade, being at the Masquerade for so long, ICP has played that club a jillion times.
Right.
And everybody liked it when we were younger and all that stuff, but everybody's grown out and we find it hilarious, and the fans are even more hilarious. And after running a club and being around that for so long, it just become our thing.
Yeah.
Renee got a rise out of me one year and hid one in broad daylight kind of, and I found it. I was like, what the fuck? And I went off. I was like, don't you do this to my goddamn artwork. So then he started thinking it was really cute and would hide them even better,
Right.
and not tell me until it was after it become released. And then years later, more and more people started finding out about it, and it become the scavenger hunt. Like, where's Waldo? Where's the Hatchet Man? I'll show y'all some on
Yeah,
some of
I'm
these,
looking around now.
on these pieces here. In that piece there, they're driving the helicopters.
Of course.
The ones on the skateboard, they're pretty unique off to the sides of the pig heads. He got lazy with it after a while, but because he was in the beginning, he was really subtle with it.
Yeah.
And then he the year with the Big Reaper, the year we did the Reaper's shadows on his face are actually one side's Violent J's makeup, and the other side of his shadow is the other dude's shadow. And it's subtle, it works, but if you look at it, then you're like, holy fuck, dude.
I see that before.
You can't unsee it once you see it. But so, yeah, there's our work. So have fun, folks, looking for those.
I'm going to try that.
I told you where the last one was. I'll show y'all, but I'm not going to tell y'all where the other ones are. That'll ruin the fun on it.
Absolutely.
I'm on the hunt now.
Oh, yeah. Looking on our shirts and we got a bunch of it.
For sure.
So what are, other than the studio and just doing, is that it for the years? Just keep on trying to create more online content and just keep going through the motions, DVDs, that kind of.
Yep. It's gonna.
Well, so we do have some things on the calendar. In May, the first weekend of May, I think there's an event at Ponderosa Pines in Manchester, Kentucky, and it's an outdoor event space that actually has done a lot of stand-up comedy and then smaller, 2 or 3 piece bands, but it's a beautiful, beautiful setting out there. And so that's an outdoor event that we're planning on going to. I'll be the first one of the year. I'm very much looking forward to that. And that guy and I, the venue owner and promoter, I've been communicating with him for about a year, and he's very careful about making sure everything is distanced and whatnot as well. And I'm very confident in doing that event with him. And then in June is the Indie Tattoo Expo up in Indianapolis, and that was a first-year event that was supposed to happen last year as a first year, and then obviously got postponed until this year. And that I got confirmation last week that that's still a go.
Things have been pulled at last minute right before you go to do it.
Right.
And people make
And you have
plans
to
of it, and so you don't know. But we don't know where we're going. Obviously, there's lots of vaccinations going on right now, and people are getting smarter and numbers are going down, I think. But people are also educated on how to be safe. More people are wearing masks, more people are washing their hands, and and more people, if they're sick, if they're at risk of putting somebody that it could jeopardize their life, I think they're more apt to not go around people.
I mean, I'm seeing more people that I'm around, and I'm seeing more common sense than we used to. But I'm hearing that the numbers are going up.
Well,
so I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's who you want to listen to.
That's what it comes down to, man. Yeah. I'm just going to keep on doing my common sense thing.
Absolutely. I'm going to be smart, and I'm not going to be ignorant, but I'm also going to live. And I'm also going to...
got to get it back started doing things and all. But my fear is, it just goes back to it, because I've talked about this on the show a few times. As a promoter, I've had fans and musicians and people that are almost begging me, please, Sid, put something on. Let's do something. Let's work it out. Let's figure it out. And the problem is, man, I don't make enough money to do that stuff with the spread. I pay my artists and everybody as well as I can, and that in the long run makes it where there's not that much room for error.
Right.
And even if we put on a show, I just can't keep on putting them on and losing. It's common sense.
Absolutely.
Anybody knows that.
Absolutely.
And I just don't know how anybody, and I have a quality that I strive for.
That way you can be around when it is safe to do it.
Yeah.
If you bury yourself, then you're broke, and then you can't.
And I want to so bad, but on top of that, the guilt that I would feel and how paranoid I am for just like, I don't know what you do if all of a sudden one of my closest friends were to get it and actually pass away, or get it and then give it to somebody, and it'd be where you can see the trends, the trickle down, like, oh, that came from there, because Sid Howell Presents put on a show. Look at them, stingy, arrogant assholes.
Absolutely.
And that's just not going to be us. I have too much care for that. And then on top of that, even once, I'm curious to see how it's going to go when shows return. That how many people out there that are going to say, I'm glad that y'all opened the floodgates and said shows can happen again, but
Are they gonna,
I'm not going.
Are they comfortable?
But I'm not going. So there's still that realm of So we're definitely going to have to. I'm just curious as time goes on how live entertainment is going to go and adjust to all these things, because after a certain while, if they open back up and everybody starts doing things, the cuts it's gonna have to give somewhere. Artists are gonna have to take a cut because people aren't coming. People are gonna have to pay more because to make up for the other. Somewhere is gonna have to give.
And it will eventually get back to normal. I mean, the desire for people to get out and see shows and live entertainment is there. So it's how long is it going to take to get from nothing to where we used to be? It will get back to that point. I mean, it has to, in my opinion.
Matt, grab one of those batteries out of there and put in there.
But I think also, how many people are going to be tired of their social media, Netflix, and sitting at their house doing, are they not just... Aren't they sick of it by now?
I think they are, but that's the thing too, is that what you just when everybody gets fed up of it and goes out and does things, it's you can't get. That's where we're gonna fuck up, I think, and it's you still got to show the restraint at times. But then again, during the middle of the pandemic, the beginning of it, during all the riots, if that was any time that everything was really going to skyrocket, if mass gatherings really had something to do with it, that should have done it.
Right.
If we get the political feeling about it out of the conversation, just the amount of people nationwide in every fucking city that were on top of each other like a goddamn festival, and that should have skyrocketed us, and that should have ended us.
Absolutely.
That should, forget that it was for a good cause. That's beside the point.
Well, and
in hindsight, that's just that.
Unfortunately, we've got a lot of our political leaders that we should be able to rely on their word and what they say. When they're saying it now, that they are saying what is best for their political agenda, and so you don't know who to believe.
Well, the shame was now because the whole time everybody's looking forward to Biden coming in. The whole time he's like, Trump, you're an idiot. You have no plan. You're handling this horrible. I got a plan. He ain't got no fucking plan.
Well,
he's like, there's nothing we can do. And it's like, this whole time you've been saying you got a plan, dude.
Let's hear it.
Well, nobody's an expert. Everybody are
Let's
just
make it happen.
They're just data collectors.
Scarier.
Right?
It's like,
people are just data collectors. There's no experts because it's a new virus, and so everybody acts like they're an expert on something that nobody knows until it happens.
And different cities and communities seem to be handling it different. You're like, there are places that are shutting down businesses and opening them up with different rhymes and read things that don't matter. You can sit outside this restaurant, but you can't have the TV on. But you can also put up a big plastic tent. You can be inside the tent outside,
right?
But you can't be inside the restaurant proper. And the TV thing, I don't understand. I think somebody said it was like, oh, they don't want people like for this weekend. They don't want people gathering for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And making an excuse for more people to gather. But even still, it's like...
Right. Well, that seems like that's a numbers,
I thought that was handled with the capacity that's already been set in place. So what the fuck?
But
there's no rhyme and reason. Like I said, there's people that are not... They're different. They're doing a lot of stuff off opinion instead of running data. Scientists aren't being listened to as much as they should be. And then on top of that, unfortunately, it said there's been a lot of mixed signals instead. I mean, in the very beginning of this thing, the CDC and the WHO and everybody all contradicted themselves left and right, back and forth, and people got to the point where they don't know what the hell to
Absolutely.
believe.
1 minute you say, man, this is a big conspiracy, and then the next minute you touch your face and say, I think I'm about to die. You just don't know what to believe anymore because it's experts are all across
Wear
the
a mask. Don't wear a mask.
Wear 2 masks.
Double masking.
Double masking. It gets to a point, it's like, come on now, bro.
The double mask.
What the fuck's going on here now? This is some Dewey Cox shit. Less and more blankets at the same time. I don't know. Matt, what's going on here, man? It's like a sinking ship, isn't it? I give it to Whack-a-mole, I'll give it to you. Everybody out there give a round of applause to Matt. Matt's been keeping this ship rolling today. He's earned it today. We'll have fun in the editing bay. We'll get it all straightened out. It's fine. we just learn it as we go. These are the kind of things, like I said, that you just gotta swipe off and keep.
How do you
Learning
learn?
curves.
Do it.
Yep.
That's how you learn. Do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I get excited about this stuff.
Too.
It kind of gets me upset when I start looking at the bills and the invoices. Me and Matt went through and did our taxes for last year, and I was like, "What the fuck? We spent this." He's like, "Don't, you did it, not me." So, but man, we really are enjoying this ride and the new gear and
Yes.
and to do this kind of stuff and to run a podcast and to film a sideshow television show the way you are, the gear and the technology that's out now and allowing you to do it used to cost just tens and tens of thousands,
Right.
and hundreds
You
of
couldn't
thousands
have
at
done
times
Right.
to do this, and rooms full of towers of equipment, and Matt's sitting over there with a half a
Yeah,
desk,
So compact.
half a desk worth of stuff to
Rolling around like a ninja and
yeah.
making things happen.
It's cool as hell. That's the
Absolutely.
thing too about the pandemic. So many people that have gotten into this and been forced just to find a new avenue to do things. All the new creations and
Yes.
things. That's what we were talking about earlier. Being forced to like, well, let's revamp. Not only it's going to make something, but now let's put a different hat on it.
Yep.
Let's redraw this.
When it's been fun seeing a lot of these huge national acts, and you get to see like a up close behind the scenes
Yeah,
and personal view
raw
of them. You know,
version.
they're in their bedroom, they're in their living room, strumming a guitar and just talking to people, and it's just
I
raw.
always
it's
like
not
that
overly
better.
produced and
Whenever I was a kid growing up and first like getting into bands and we would buy the DVDs, I enjoy a good live performance that's filmed and nice stuff, but I always loved the behind the scenes stuff so much more, and the tour antics, like the Pantera home videos.
oh yeah, had them all.
Oh, dude, those were our we watched them till we warped the tape,
Oh
bro.
my gosh.
And then Legion X, even when we started making our own home videos, and we had a DVD that we sold on tour for a little while that was edited just like that. And it was just us. Quite frankly, we're stupid as hell. It's just a bunch of underage drinking and fucking doing drugs
With a camera.
with a camera in the fucking late 90s, early 2000s. Like, just, oh man. But
Oh man,
Good shit.
The Pantera always made me want to sell out a venue, like the Tabernacle, where you take a beer and throw it to the people in
oh yeah, them
there.
filling up
That
their
was always the best.
We ripped off so much shit from that video of things, doing them in little small local shows. We played Atlanta Motor Speedway during the camping out there. We would pull out a trailer, and then we would pull generators and shit and just play. And I ripped off something out of that video. I took a poster. I needed a piece of paper this wide, and it was a Jägermeister poster and a smoke bomb. I just rolled the poster up and the smoke bomb in the end of it and made a big giant joint. Fucking lit it up and walked out on stage with this big smoke bomb fucking smoking joint and passed it around. And then we played like Cat Scratch Fever or some shit. I don't know. It didn't even make no sense. But that was fun.
And now look at you.
Y'all ever do any pop-up events with the truck? Because that was the other thing. Y'all got the truck.
We have actually had some conversation with some friends lately, and I think we're getting some things kind of rolling with it, because I'm not sure there's going to be as much indoor events, and that may be a great opportunity to do some outdoor stuff and work with some people doing some of it. So, yeah.
Is the setup on that? Is it a garage roll-up door?
The side of it basically drops down like this, and that's the stage.
How fast does that drop down?
Pretty quick. It's on just like a winch.
So
Yeah.
can we just like pull up in front of a fucking Starbucks and just drop it and like
Plenty enough.
does it run out like a SWAT to have some stock car guys?
You can be set up on stage
Pit
in
crew.
Fast.
5 minutes. I could
Yeah.
have the whole thing. I mean,
It's
of course,
We got to get it faster than that. We're gonna get a pit crew so we can pull up at a red light, and when there's people out like on a patio and just like boom, drop
for
it
you.
down, pull it out, swallow a couple swords, tell them to hang it in their ass, and just pack it up and roll.
Got a ninja.
Yeah, we got
We
it.
got a ninja.
There was, I remember back in the day, there was a band, Atheochrist, that used to tour with Mayhem Fest, and they had a U-Haul,
Okay.
the full size 24-footer, roll up garage door, bunk beds in the inside. But they could. That's how they would literally do it. They would roll up to places, fling the door open, and the band's there.
Yeah.
And just start blasting at people that are sitting out on a patio eating somewhere. Thank y'all. We're Atheist Christ.
What the hell just happened?
I always thought it was the coolest thing. And then they basically forced their way into the Mayhem Fest because they had that stage. They started following the tour and wouldn't even go in the festival. They would just park in the parking lot and play to all the people coming in. And then they were like, then somebody on the tour was like, hey, y'all want to play our after party? All the bands and everybody, we barbecue every night. Y'all want to play that? Yeah, cool. And then halfway through, they're like, so-and-so dropped off the whole bill. Y'all want to open the show? Also, and then the Metal Militia guys are like, hey, y'all could play during the day during our set, and we'll jump over your truck.
Oh, nice.
And y'all be playing y'all's set, and dirt bikes will jump over y'all. Then another band drops off the bill, In Flames, like co-headliner, second stage. They're like, hey guys, we like y'all so much. Y'all take that spot. So they went from not even on the tour, an unsigned two-piece band, fucking train hopper kids,
wow,
to basically ending fucking second stage for one of the tours and befriending everybody. And they still do stuff there. I think they live out in like Oregon maybe or somewhere.
Wow.
Potheads. Cool ass dudes. Aaron, one of the dudes I follow him online, he's gotten a bad motorcycle wreck not too long ago. Aaron, heal up, bud. You know, smoke one on you. We thinking about you. But that mentality of people that just will fucking get a trailer and make my own stage and go, I love that shit.
Just chase the dream. Make it happen, you know?
And it's not even fake it till you make it. It's just keep going. It's not. It's
fake it till you become it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's
do it enough times.
Enough people have the feeling of the fraud failures type stuff, but it's not even about that anymore. It's just keep going through the motions. Yeah. If you like this stuff, I don't know.
What do they say when people are on their deathbed? They don't talk about the things they tried and failed at. They talk about the things they never tried.
My granddaddy on his deathbed, he was a professional Santa Claus. I don't know if I've ever told y'all about him. He was a professional Santa Claus. He was a wild man, and he was a pussy hound. And on his deathbed, he told me, son, you fuck all you can. You fuck all you can. Mm-hmm. All of them. You won't think of all the women you loved when you were my age. You think of all the pussy you turned down. And he has Alzheimer's. I can't believe he's putting this together.
He meant it.
Oh, he fucking meant it. He meant it. And then I remember another time he had he's full blown Alzheimer's. He's out of it at this point. And he had hernia surgery. So I went and stayed with him overnight after fresh and making dinner and doing stuff. And I get us something on TV, and when you're dealing with a person who's Alzheimer's that bad, it's very much almost like a child in certain parts of it. But you don't. He's my granddaddy. I ain't gonna treat him like a damn child. And we eating us a steak and whatever. But he looked over dead ass serious. What's going on? It's like at first he's happy. He's like, yeah, we should do this. This is good. He's trying to get it. This is good. We should do this more. I like this. We should do this more. We having a good time, aren't we? And I'm like, yeah, we are. He's like, yeah, we are, ain't we? All right. You know, he says, hey, you think you might be able to get some whores come to our party?
He said, "We piggy."
I was like, I don't know. I put an APB out on Facebook. I met that one time. Hey, Grandpa's looking for a good time, and you loose women won't come on by.
It seems like he's a good timing man.
Oh, he was a truck driver back in the day. He was a truck driver when Smokey and the Bandit came out.
Right.
Oh, nice.
So that's
he had a cool job.
Yeah, and just he's a rambler, man. And the Santa Claus thing came along like not long before I was born. And he always talked about it was a good gig. He would make $60,000-$70,000 in 1 month playing Santa Claus.
Wow.
And he was in premier cities, Boston, New York, Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
There's a picture frame we have of a newspaper article when he did the Christmas parade in Boston. 60,000 people. And as a kid, I remember seeing that and reading it and wasn't thinking about it and just always read it. 60, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Now, as a promoter and putting it together, and then on top of that, too, the Christmas parade.
Mm-hmm.
Pawpaw was Santa Claus at a 60,000 person Christmas. He was the head honcho. When he come rolling through there, he was the Beatles. Yes. 60,000 people.
Every person's looked at him.
It always, that was always just a cool notion to me. So he did that. But have you ever, what's the biggest amount of people you've looked out and seen on flat ground? That's a weird question, I know. But
you mean this performing or not performing?
Not perform. Most times it's probably going to be, not performing.
Definitely not performing.
Not performing.
We're not that good.
No, you are that good.
Well, this one slaughter queue, we were outside.
Oh, I got pictures of y'all at slaughter queue in front of over 1,000 people out there.
And that's such a good photo.
But no, I'm saying like at a large event.
Gosh, man.
Because what I'm getting at is at Music Midtown, there's a vantage point up by a Ferris wheel, and you can look out whenever the headline acts are on. Wow. And they claim that 70,000 people are there a day on average. And I know that at that point in time, I'm not looking at the entire crowd.
70,000.
Because there's other people at these other stages.
40.
There's maybe 40, exactly. So what you're looking at 40,000 people standing flat in that vantage point, when people start talking about Woodstock and inaugurations of 1 million people, and talking to my granddaddy in front of a 60,000 person parade, and those numbers like, holy smokes.
Yes.
It's those numbers. What it looks like standing flat, because I mean everybody's been to a sporting event when you're inside. There's 60,000 people inside of a dome football game or something. Yeah. It's a lot of people, but it doesn't translate the same as when they all get flattened out. And just
absolutely,
wow, man,
because they're more stacked.
Which is the same thing that then flips you off when you see what kind of how streaming and stuff pays. And someone's like, they'll pay you for about 1 million streams. You can get paid like $8,000. I was like, that's good money. And then I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. Stand 1 million people in line and look at what that looks like. And imagine what it takes to get these people to do it.
Yep.
$8,000. I don't know if that's... I think when the metrics on that, it's not as bad as it sounds. The streaming stuff seems to be pretty valid for people that own their music fully, don't have any partners, and get a reasonable amount going. The million's a lot easier than you think it seems to be. 'Cause I have some friends and people that are doing pretty well with it. They're not so bitter. And then I have some people that are doing well that don't own all their music, and they're a little more bitter. And then I have people that own 100% that don't have a fan base, and they're very bitter.
Right.
So the streaming, I guess, it's coming around. It's better than it was in Legion X's heyday. That's for damn sure.
And it's, and that's the thing is, like you said, technology's getting cheaper for people to do it. The knowledge of how to get it out there and to, get it in front of people that don't even know who you are is, and it's a game, you constantly are just practicing and trying new things. And, you could do it one way and it worked great for you, and I can't get anything off of it. It's just so amazing. There's no one formula to being successful over the internet. And, but it seemed like there wasn't too many formulas for bands touring. It was, you hustle, you get a van, you get something that will hold a lot of people and your gear, and you start dragging it, and you send
you go place to place
and playbills back in the day. And then you remember the heyday of us getting a street team and saying, here's some, handbills, and here's a staple gun, and you hit every telephone pole and every CD shop and everything. And if I find these in the dumpster, I'm beating your ass. And,
right.
And you paid them and gave them some free tickets and, a lunch. And
it's nothing worse than that. I remember back when we shouldn't even been doing it because it was already, flyers had already become null and void, but I was buying 20 and 25,000 handbills and splitting it up between all the acts on that. Nothing would piss me off more than go out to somebody's car and look in the back and just see 300-400 fucking flyers from the show that was last week.
Yep.
And you're like, dude,
never touched.
What the fuck did I give you these and print these and go through all this for?
Because they cost.
Yep.
And I guess
it's not their money.
And that's a big difference.
Well, then that shit doesn't even work anymore.
Oh, absolutely. Because who looks up at a telephone pole when they're looking down at their phone while they're walking? So you got to get it on their phone.
And
it's true.
Like you've definitely, with your extra time and stuff, have done a lot of reading and watching like tutorials and stuff on how to further like.
Are
what
y'all?
you're doing
Are you trying to do artwork on your own, or are you outsourcing for a lot of that stuff?
Yeah.
Outsourcing most
Oh,
of
yeah.
that. You know, I think one of those things is, I'm not a great artist. It would take way too much time to put into it. My energy is better spent elsewhere doing other things that I am. And working in the tattooing industry and knowing some of the people that we would work with, and Jason Lunnan is amazing. It does a lot of our poster designs and stuff, and he's so good at it that why would I ever try to do that? And so that's a big thing about doing, is relying on networking with people, and it's just how we work with all of our friends, is we rely on the people that are talented that we've supported all these years and start seeing them successful. And same thing when they need some entertainment, they call on us, because we've always kind of worked together. And so but a lot of it is coming down the cost. If I think I can do it and it's going to save me a lot of money, then guess I need to go buy a camera.
That's the thing. But then you get to where we're at right now with this, and you're like, okay, now we're doing this. We're doing this, and you realize ooh, that's a big bite. More than we can chew? I don't know. Not as easy as I thought.
Right.
But we still keep swimming. You still keep going. And it's really good.
And it gets easier.
Well, it's exciting.
It's fun.
It's exciting to me. The journey is always so exciting. And then sometimes, I love little adages and little sayings and things like that. And those are the things that keep me going. And every time we fucking run a wheel off or fuck something up, I just always got to be like, a master has failed more than a novice has even tried.
Right.
And just stupid little shit like that to remind us it's okay. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Don't rip the fucking microphone up.
Because you can't afford to buy another one now.
And Matt's like, yeah, bullshit. You do rip them apart.
Matt,
Look at
Matt's
it.
got the side eye.
And Matt's like, and that's where my microphone repair business started.
And he's like, yeah, look over here at my piece of shit mic I got. But no, man, it's just people like you keep the inspiration going. I can't thank you enough for being my friends. I can't thank you enough for coming in for this today. What are your socials? Where can people find you guys at online and stuff? Where's the best place to look?
Oh, you're not me? Yeah. We can get our website, captainandmaybelle.com.
.com.
Or, .com. Oh, that was good. Or our Facebook fan page, Captain and Maybelle. And then on Insta, we each have our own.
She is.
I'm Mrs. Maybelle.
And
you are
I am
Captain?
Captain underscore, still
still.
underscore, because I thought underscores were a great idea back then.
I
I stole that
underscored.
from Orbex.
I underscored some, and that's they weren't.
What the hell were we
What
doing?
did they do?
Extra
It
stuff.
looks good. It looks good when you're looking at it, but it sucks when you're telling people.
They're like, what is it?
It's easier to read,
Right on.
but not easier to tell.
All right, folks. Thanks again. Check these guys out. If you like it, subscribe. We'll catch you on the flip side. Cheers.